Hey, what's good, yo? Welcome back to another video. Today, the Texans released Chad Hansen, wide receiver, and Chad Hansen was a great player for us, to be honest. When Will Fuller got suspended, that's when he really got his time to shine. And for some stats, this season in 5 games, he had 236 yards, uh, um, like 47.2 yards per game, 70.8% catch percentage, so a very reliable target. He made so many contested catches. I cannot believe how many he made, and it's kind of going to be a little sad to let him go. But there were so many wide receivers on the roster. It was a little like expected that someone that was going to be cut, and unfortunately, it was Chad Hansen. So, what are your initial thoughts to this roster change?
Well, Chad Hansen was definitely a fan favorite, but he was a really hardworking player. He had a lot of grit and energy in him. He wasn't necessarily the most ideal outside receiver. The Texans already had Kiki Kuti and Randall Cobb in the slot, and who knows necessarily what we're going to do with the offense, but I don't think Chad Hansen was really going to fit that with the Texans. But he was really effective, like you said. Everybody loved him. He made a lot of plays. He was a lot of fun to watch, and I'm sure he'll find a really good team to go to.
Yeah, and his standout game this year was against the Colts, the first game against the Colts, where he had 101 receiving yards on 5 receptions, which is really insane. So obviously, Chad Hansen has that big play ability, and he does have that talent to get that many yards. So I'm gonna miss Chad Hansen. But what do you like? So let's talk about what our offense currently looks like. So how would you rank the wide receivers on our roster right now?
So first would obviously be Brandon Cooks. Second is kind of tough for me. I actually like the way Randall Cobb played. Randall Cobb is going to be my second receiver for the Texans, even though it's not a popular choice. Then I would go with Kiki Kuti, and then I would go with Chris Conley. And then maybe like number 5 I would go with like Dante Moncrief or something like that. But what would you say? What would be your top 5?
Okay. I agree with what you said about Cobb. I think a lot of people are down about Cobb. I don't know why, because he was a pretty reliable target for Deshaun Watson. One play that stood out for me for Randall Cobb was that Titans touchdown thing where Cobb kind of circled back for Deshaun and made a really tough, like, near the outside bounds and like at the corner near the pylon or whatever. That was a great play. He made a lot of similar plays. But to me, I would say Cooks, and I feel like Conley will be our number 2 option this season because of that ability. I mean, he's 28, so but he's entering his prime. I think that's when most athletes tend to enter their prime. So hopefully Conley can be that reliable number 2 outside wide receiver for us. And then I would say Cobb, and then Kiki QT. Mainly, Kiki QT is kind of low for me because of he does have that fumbling issues that kind of cost us some games, but I feel like he can like fix those issues, of course. And then Dante Moncrief, just another training camp body. He could be good for us. He's done well in the past, but I don't know how he'll do, honestly. But that's my ranking for now. But yeah, and then
Yeah,
go ahead.
like a little thing about Randall Cobb is like you say, he's really good at settling in zones, making even tough catches. So any quarterback would love to play with Randall Cobb. So if it's gonna be Tyrod Taylor, Randall Cobb's gonna be on the field a lot too. But I wouldn't necessarily say he's gonna start. I think the starters kind of have to be Brandon Cooks and Chris Conley because Randall Cobb's not an outside receiver. He can't start on the outside. So just because I say Chris Conley's the number 4 receiver doesn't mean I think he's gonna be 4 on the depth chart. He's gonna start unless we teach Isaiah Cutler how to run his routes or not.
Oh yeah.
I would love to see him on the field. I would love for him to be the number 2 receiver because he's only like 22 or 23. I would expect the starting receiver to be Brandon Cooks and Chris Conley, and then Kiki Kuti make jet sweeps, little touch passes, get him the ball. And Randall Cobb's going to be your ideal slot receiver for the next season.
All right. Yeah, I know. It's I totally forgot about Isaiah Coulter there because he barely played last season. I forgot he even was a player for us. But what do you think about like the expectations this offense could have? Obviously, we were a top-rated offense with Deshaun Watson, and that was even despite the Fuller suspensions or whatnot. We were still a top offense, and that was mainly because of Deshaun Watson, obviously. So now let's imagine like hypothetical. Say there's no Deshaun Watson, but with this current receiving core, with Tyrod Taylor, and then all of the three running backs, Philip Lindsay, Mark Ingram, David Johnson. What are your expectations? Like, where would you rank them out of all of the NFL's offenses?
I would first. I mean, the first couple weeks is going to be rough. Quite frankly, it's going to be bottom 20 because the team's going to have to establish a run game. The team was a passing team last season. I'm more excited about the running backs of Mark Ingram, Philip Lindsay, David Johnson. I expect a heavy power run scheme. So once you get the run established, then you're going to see the receivers go off. Then you're going to see Chris Conley running deep, Brandon Cooks getting another 1,000-yard season, which I think is very possible. I mean, the offense is capable of doing it, but what can Tyrod Taylor do? He's going to have to be the guy to lead this offense.
Yeah, I think Tyrod Taylor is going to be one of those game managers. He's not going to necessarily make those huge plays that we see Deshaun Watson do day in and day out. But probably, yeah, like you said, it's going to be a run-first team now, I'm assuming. And that's kind of how the signings of Britt kind of associate with more run scheme, because he does have that ability to do that power running that Mark Ingram does. But yeah, I think that this offense could be top 10 if everything works correctly. Because Chris Conley, I don't know. I just have a lot of faith in Chris Conley for some reason. I think he could be really good for us.
I would say that the offense is going to be a lot similar to the Ravens. You know, you wouldn't expect them to be a top 10 offense, but they kind of blew up and became a top 5 team, the best running team in the NFL. Maybe the Texans will be the second best ranked team in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean that's, of course, you have Lamar Jackson over there, who's completely way better than Tyrod Taylor. But you know, I don't know. I don't know. I have decent, moderate expectations for this team. They could be good, like no joke. Like, they could be good because like the way the roster's constructed, it could, like, there's potential there. And I'm not trying to be sipping Kool-Aid or nothing, but I don't know. I just have a good feeling, I guess, which is kind of weird considering everything that's going on with the Texans. But
right,
I don't know.
The team is built to be competitive. Nick Caserio's not going to sit back and let us lose 14, 15 games this year. He wants to win 8, 9, 10, get into the playoffs, even win the division if he can.
Yeah,
he's doing the best that he can right now. He's got the players.
Honestly, yeah, this roster is way better than last season's roster. And let's also talk about other news. The Texans actually released long snapper Anthony Kukwa, and then they re-signed JON, the legend, Weeks, back on the Texans roster. So happy to have him back. He was like testing free agency, but it seems like maybe not a lot of teams were interested. So he just re-signed with us, which is great news. Great guy, honestly, and pretty reliable for us too. So that's that. Yeah.
And JON is the ultimate Texan. He's played the most snaps in Texans history. I think everybody can be excited to have him back. I think maybe once we heard he may not come back, everybody went crazy. Maybe Nick Caserio was on his burner account on Twitter and he saw our replies and he brought us the guy that we wanted.
Exactly. I mean, how could you release Jon Weeks in the first place? But you know, it's whatever. He's back on the Texans, and things are good now. And hopefully, there's still free agency left. It's kind of like one of those twilights of the free agency where all those major star free agents are signed. It's mainly the other guys that are left, but we will see what kind of magic Nick Caserio pulls out of his hat. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Any final thoughts?
I'm a little sad about the Hansen release, but I think it had to happen. And then JON Weeks, very excited for him to come back.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there, and that's pretty much it for the video. Let us know your thoughts on these roster moves, and as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Thank you all for watching. Peace.